Good, everyone. Welcome. All right, well, I see the few coffee drinking stragglers in the back. We'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone to the IAS-USA annual update on HIV management here in Chicago. And my name is Constance Benson. I'm a professor of medicine at the University of California, San Diego. I used to be here in Chicago for 20 years before I moved west, and was an associate professor of medicine at Rush. And it's great to be back in Chicago. It's also great to be back here in person for the first time in 3 years at a medical meeting like this. So thank you all for coming out and participating in what I hope will be a very wonderful symposium. We have a lot of good speakers and really great talks this morning. So I'm going to introduce my co-chairs. I was supposed to be chairing this symposium today with Dr. Paul Volberding, a professor of medicine at University of California, San Francisco. But unfortunately, Paul came back from a wonderful tour around the world with COVID, so he is not here with us today, although he's with us in spirit, and we'll be saying hello later on this morning. So my friend and colleague Mike Sagg from University of Alabama at Birmingham has decided to step in and help me this morning, and he will also be doing the cases this morning too. So let's move on into our introductory activities. If I could have the next, I guess I can advance the slide. So we have almost 120 attendees this morning, and interestingly, from a lot of places. I don't think that California counts for me, but there may be some people here from around the world, although many from the eastern and midwestern part of the U.S. And you see, okay. So all of you took part in a pre-activity knowledge and practice assessment program. We sent in questions, each of the speakers did, and our overall score was about 55%. Now, not to belabor the point, but I think the reason we make these questions is because we want to be able to highlight things that we can actually teach you. So if everybody got 100% on the questions, then what's the point of doing the talks? So hopefully those questions that weren't answered correctly on your pre-test activity will be answered correctly on your post-test activity after we provide you with useful information to answer those questions. So as you know, this is a CME designated activity. You will get 6 AMA credits. Physicians will get 6 AMA credits. You should only claim credit commensurate with the extent of your participation in today's activity, but this activity has also been approved for ABIM MOC points, nursing contact hours, pharmacotherapy credit, and pharmacy contact hours. So hopefully everyone will be able to have their appropriate CME accounted for. We have grant support today from a number of providers and supporters. Platinum supporters for the activity are Gilead, Merck, and ViiV Healthcare, and bronze supporters, Janssen Therapeutics and Thera Technologies Incorporated. The activities are also supported through the IAS-USA and through registration fees from you all, so we do appreciate you coming to our conference and helping to support these educational activities. Financial relationships with a new term for us now rather than calling it conflict of interest. It's financial relationships with ineligible companies, whatever that means. Don't know what that means, but information is provided for each of the speakers about financial relationships that they may have with such ineligible companies. And those can be found in your syllabus under each faculty member's designation. So I'm going to be turning the rest of this introduction over to my co-chair, Dr. Sag, who's going to take you through a number of activities that will get you used to using Slido and answering questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Benson. Every time I hear Slido, I think of the cartoon from when I was growing up called Nancy, where the character's name was Sluggo. So we're going to learn how to use Sluggo today. The PowerPoint presentations will be available to you, so you can use them not only for your own notes and recollection, but you could actually give a presentation at your clinic to update them. Just take whatever slides you want and use them. And the handouts are available in the e-module. So this is Slido, or what I call Sluggo. You can take your phone and pick up this QR code, and it'll take you right to the site. It's also it should be in your handout, but there it is. It's there again in case it switched too quickly. See if y'all can get that. Hey, I like how I'm on TV. Everyone's taking pictures of me. Okay, so once it's active, the active poll is now on, and we got a little music. Mr. Rogers meets Burt Bacharach. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to give you a few extra minutes or seconds here because I know you have to download the Sluggo. The other thing about Slido is that you can ask questions that way. So there'll be 3 ways you can ask questions, one through Slido, one coming to the microphone, and then they'll have little cards like we usually do. So let's see what we got. All right, so the pharmacist rule today, physicians are 31%, and this is what we are seeing at our live courses now, and this is great because everybody gets their CME, but you can take, again, this information back to your clinics and present. Let's do the next, okay. How many patients are you presently under your direct care? Now for pharmacists, that's a little bit challenging. Just go for what you think, where you've consulted or participated in guiding patients in the last year or so. Go ahead and vote. Let's see what we got. Okay, so as anticipated, a lot of very busy folks. And a lot of patients that are being cared for, not only by you, but also, this is for you, but your clinics are very busy these days, and that's a good thing. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so our morning agenda, we'll have a couple other questions towards the end of the morning session, but you'll see that we'll kick off with Dr. Benson on new drugs. After each one, we'll have a Q&A session. After that, we'll have a presentation by Dr. Bedimo, and he'll be talking about, in case you missed it, so if you didn't go to CROI, especially, or even if you did, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. So he's going to bring out the things that are new, important, but not covered by other talks today. So it's very tailored. Then I'll do cases from the clinic where we'll cover antiretroviral therapy, and I'll have a panel of the faculty to just banter things around. And then Dr. Rafi Landovitz from UCLA will talk about prevention, but especially PrEP and PEP. Then after lunch, we'll come back, and Dr. Wachowski will talk about STIs and a lot of new information there, really exciting stuff. And then the slide goes blank, and then it's back. So we're ready to move on.